Mercury, I'm gonna talk about this, guys. This happens February the 23rd. Very early in the morning. So, this could also mean that something happens very late Thursday night because it's going into the Friday morning energy. Now, this. As you can see, there obviously Jupiter's doing a little less. It's starting to chill out and not be so crazy with all the squares and stuff. But God, Leo moon. Moon does not like being in Leo because Moon is at home in Cancer and Sun is at home in Leo. Sun and Moon are opposites of each other. And this is actually happening. Mercury is moving in the Pisces literally a few hours or so before we have a full moon in Virgo. This is the chance before the moon comes to get some shit taken care of, guys, because when the moon comes, if the shit's not taken care of, it's gonna hit the fan. This Leo moon is dramatic. Leo moon energy is very dramatic because what Leo moon does, because the moon itself wants to be quiet. It wants to be your safe place. It wants to be your, like, it's your emotions. It's like that quiet stillness, right? Leo is not quiet and still. It is loud. It is bright like the sun. And when you have a very emotional planet that's private to you being loud, that does not make the person that has this or the people dealing with it that happy, because it almost feels like, what am I supposed to do? Because my emotions are so freaking loud. And it's like, the only way you know how to deal with it is through expressing yourself, and not everyone can deal with someone expressing their emotions very loudly or very dramatically or just like getting them out, you know? So the way this is opposing Mercury, that's moving into Pisces right here, right? It's opposing it, this long red line. This means the moon itself is at odds with Mercury. It's like, ew. It's like, I don't like this. I don't feel comfortable with this. This feels very like not something that it's just not a good feeling, right? And it's also almost opposite the sun. Like it's getting closer. That's what the full moon is when the moon is opposite the sun exact degree. That's how you get a full moon. New moons is when the sun is exact degree on top of when the moon and sun are exact degree on top of each other. Yes, next week, this is why I was saying I didn't want to say that Niji was done. Because there's so much stuff that just keeps getting dramatic as like the week goes on. It seems like the week starts with literally what I said about someone really feeling it, building that they want to say something, whether it's an apology or a defamation, whatever it is, it's building. Whether the company themselves wants to say it or a person wants to say it, something is building. That thought is there, and it's gonna be building throughout the week. If they somehow make it throughout this whole week past the Virgo full moon without saying anything, that's literally the only thing that will save them. That's the only thing, besides the huge like apology thing I've talked about. But I don't see them coming out with that, with how they're acting right now. So the best thing to do, like all next week, would be for them to be completely silent, because literally every tone of every day is saying that if you speak out and you're dramatic and you try to cause drama or all this other stuff, it's not gonna go over well. It's still not gonna go over well. The communications aren't gonna be received well, because look at the aspects to Mercury. Mercury is how this communication is gonna be received. The emotions, like, let's look at it this way. The communication itself is gonna be viewed as being emotional and very like off in la la land, like very delusional. It's gonna seem like it's very dramatic, like it's being a little too big from what it compared to what it's saying, like it needs to chill out. So these are gonna be conflicting with each other. It's gonna be like, I'm trying to express this thing, and then someone's gonna be like, you're expressing something that isn't true because you're just daydreaming and like putting this out there. This is wishful thinking, very wishful thinking. And having this opposing each other is going to be this opposing view of like, there's going to be people agreeing with the emotional aspect, because a lot of people can get pulled by emotions, right? Instead of like thinking in a more detached light. But there's still all these planets in Aquarius that are saying, be detached, be detached. Don't throw your emotions in the ring. Don't do it. While these are all like, we're feeling things. We're feeling a lot of stuff, and it's starting to bubble and bubble and bubble, especially since the thing I told you about when the sun moved into Pisces with Mercury and having that 22 degree. If they haven't said anything, it's bubbling a lot, and it's festering, and it's getting to this place where it's like, there's a square. You guys know what Uranus does. It does that unpredictable shock factor. There's a square with the moon. There's this unpredictable emotional outburst with Mercury. Unpredictable speech of like just word vomit emotions coming out. They should not put out anything on this day. They should not put out anything Thursday night or Friday morning. They need to stay the frick away from it. They don't need to be near anywhere they can put out anything. Because anyone putting out anything, it's going to be received the opposite of what they're doing. It's going to be received in this very dramatic, oversensitive light. And then there's going to be people that are like appealing to emotions. There's going to be people like, well, these aren't the facts. These are just emotions. There's going to be a lot of fighting and a lot of people just not wanting to get each other. And this right here with the moon, like these are still here. The Chiron North Node thing I told you about. There's a trine between these, which gives oh, thank you. But what this is giving off is this feeling of the dramatic emotions are causing this unpredictable tension to rise up. Now, this unpredictable tension that's coming in can make literally someone explode, especially when they're having this internal battle with like either shocking revelations, because Uranus does that. It can be where they finally understand something they didn't understand before, and they feel they need to talk about it. They just need to get it out. But this is also creating, like I said, that very easy flow between pain and your emotions, and just having your emotions just being filtered through the lens of pain and the wounds you've experienced, and then going out and trying to talk about it. And this could easily be somebody that comes out and is saying all these things with her has ruined their life and like all this stuff, and it's not going to be received well, even if it's the truth. I'm gonna tell you, even if it's the truth, it will not be received well. It's just gonna be looked at as someone being dramatic, someone being emotional, someone's words not matching up with how they're acting, because the communication Mercury is opposite the moon. It's also the fact that the communication, because the moon on a more public scale actually represents the people, like a group of people, like your audience. And if in this instance the moon is opposite, the public perception, your audience is opposite of your communication, whatever like you express, that means their view of what you're saying is not going to match up, because whatever you're saying is so far removed from their understanding that it is it's like this uphill battle where you're gonna have to keep saying more and more, and then that gets looked at the wrong way because we still have Jupiter in the mix here. That's really adding to this Mars energy with the square. It's making people combative. It's like making that bigger. Like this whole time Mars has been squaring Jupiter and people have been combative, and the thing is Mars is getting in a tighter and tighter and tighter square to Jupiter because Mars moves faster than Jupiter. So the tighter the square is, like the tighter the actual orb is between the planets, the harsher it feels, or the better it feels, depending on what the aspect is. And that's the whole thing. The public, even if they, this is why I'm saying don't release anything on this day, because even if they release an apology on this day, it will not be received well. It just won't. There will be some kind of like unpredictable thing that happens in this apology, or because of the apology, that skews things and creates more tension. It creates more distance between the public and what is actually happening. And then it also creates more like fighting, and it brings up more wounds that people have. It's not going to be good. This is a day where you take a nap. This is a day where you keep to yourself. If you have to work, you just keep your head down at work. You get your stuff done so you can get home and you can relax. If you live in a very chaotic environment, this would be one of those days where people that have anger and emotional issues are not going to be fun to be around. It's just very like conducive to a lot of nasty things. And like honestly, no. If they're gonna do anything, like I said, they need to leave this week out. They need to do nothing this week at all. They could stream, because you have to realize there are livers in there that don't have anything to do with this. And if they're streaming and still going about their lives, but they're gonna have this under, like, because there's gonna be, what I think a lot of people aren't talking about, there's gonna be some livers in there that literally don't know what the fuck is going on, because some of them are way more to themselves than the other livers. And if they don't know any of this was going on and they've just been doing their stuff, your boss, I hope not. I mean, it has that kind of energy, but I really hope not. But there's gonna be a lot of livers that really just don't know what's going on, because there's a lot of people in EN, and it's not like this whole thing is saying everyone in EN is like harassing her. It's probably a very controlled group of people that are doing it, and then other people just don't know about it. And the only way you're gonna know that they really don't know anything about it is if like someone comes forward and say they had nothing to do with it, sadly. Like, but a lot of people, this is something to think about. The people that did things, the people that did stuff they were not supposed to do and they're feeling guilty about it, they will not take the guilt off of other people. Because as long as the guilt and the blame is a broad blanket, it cannot hurt them as bad. Like, just imagine if it did come out and people were saying like, well, this liver actually didn't have anything to do with it and they don't know anything about it and they're just stuck being in the company. Immediately, any negativity that was going towards that person would be reversed, and then it would be put full force more on the people that still haven't been like taken out of accountability. So they are not going to come forward and say anyone is innocent the same way they're trying to say no one's guilty, because then it just immediately makes this beeline of like, oh wait, it can't be, the blame can't be distributed as evenly now. Like, as you saw when those three came out and talked, if anything, that could have been a test thing where they were seeing just how the public would react, especially them being some of their bigger talents, and seeing how negatively they reacted. It's just, well, I guess it doesn't matter how big you are, huh? It's like, that was a failed test. But this whole thing is really gonna boil down to if they can just shut up. They literally need to shut up. That's all they need to do. And this is a perfect week where they need to really shut up. Like, it is just, the week starts off really bad, and then it's like, even if they do something in the middle of the week, they're going to be sandwiched in between this energy and the beginning of the week energy and feeling both of those. So it'd probably be more volatile in the middle of the week if they release something too. So this whole thing, unless they, like I said, release a mass apology, that's like an actual apology, apologizing for specific points that they did, which isn't going to happen because they don't want to take that kind of accountability, then this is going to get worse. And I really don't want it to. It's really sad for Doki, but these configurations in the charts are not showing people that want to be amicable. There's like opportunities for people to have more love and compassion, but with how hurt, like literally butthurt and angry and emotional some of the people are in there, I don't see this dying out, sadly. And this is just adding to it because people can just feel their wounds being picked at each day. And some of those people that have like the highest horses are probably reading what people are saying and getting angrier by the day, because it's like, how dare you invalidate me? Yeah, and that's how a lot of people think. Well, see, people think that angry is fun because they haven't experienced love and compassion. They literally, the way the world is now, people do not experience love and compassion, like, really at all. Just think about it. The whole reason that things have been like reduced to the fact that being angry and like bitter and shit is fun is because no one has this love and compassion. Love and compassion is way better than Angie. Is way better. Like, a million times over. It's way more fun. You're in way better health. You're like, everything all around is better. Angie screws your health. It has its place. Healthy anger has its place for change, but just being angry and not like having any kind of love or actually like good connections in your life is so fucking sad. Yeah, battery of support. But I love you too. But that's what a lot of people don't realize, because they're just stuck in situations where it's like, well, I don't have those things, so obviously they're probably not all they're cracked up to be. Literally the same thing going on with the Nijisanji branch over here, just doing the Japanese way and not realizing that everyone in the West is like losing their shit and not really understanding it. It's literally perspectives. And that's why I'm saying like this week for them wouldn't be good, because they would not be making any good perspectives. all the perspectives would be like, what the fuck, why are you saying things? The only good that could come out this week is if there are people coming forward and saying they didn't have like a part of it and they're sorry about it, and there isn't really much they can do besides stay in Niji because of their situation. And like, I don't know how much of that's NDA or not, or like how much they would actually be able to say, or how they would be able to say it. But like, the only thing that would probably be well taken this week is if someone's coming forward and looking for support because they feel that they're in a rock and a hard place and they really don't like everything that's going on. That would be received well, because they're being vulnerable. They're not coming out and trying to attack Doki. They're coming out and saying like, I don't really know what to do, because I'm not okay with what's going on this way. I'm not okay with what's going on that way. And I'm stuck in a hard place right now because I have nowhere to go. It's like that kind of thing would be received a lot better. But like I said, I don't know how much they're allowed to say with their NDAs, if they're even allowed to say that they're not okay with what the company's doing. And if they have to like literally say they're okay with everything the company does, like, I don't know how far that goes.